Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Advance to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Yeah, folks, we got some fireworks for y'all today, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video, sub to the channel, and be sure to follow me on my Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So let's get into today's topic, man. So, another NBA podcast strikes again, man. Before these NBA podcasts came about, a lot of people thought that, oh, these guys are going to come and change the game. And to be fair, there were the good ones that started it off, like All the Smoke. They're still good. I can't really think of a few others, but I remember All the Smoke was the one that really kicked it off. But then after that, Draymond Green decided to join the podcast game. And his podcast took off when the Golden State Warriors were in the playoffs that year, the year they won the championship. And he would just basically come back and live stream after every single game, right? And, he grew his platform a lot like that. Then also you had the thing that he had to say about Chris Mad Dog Russo. And then, he talked about the new media coming to take over the old media and all of this stuff and all of that stuff, right? And they were going to tell it like how it is. And people that talk about sports, they don't know what they're talking about. And these new guys are going to come and tell it what it is, right? They're tired of journalists taking craps on athletes, and athletes get to come out here and tell their own story. But over time, we started to find out that most of these podcasts are trash. There are a few good ones, but the vast majority of them are just not anything worth. Because what some of the guys thought that, well, I'm an NBA player, so I can just come out here, cut on a mic, and just say whatever, and people are going to watch. And it wasn't the case. Like, you actually have to put thought in it. You actually have to work at it. When you see guys like Rogan getting $200-300 million, it's not by just happenstance. They don't just go in there and just start shooting from the hip. It's a business, right? You're not just going to wing your way into a business making that amount of money, right? But that's what they thought. So recently, I think Draymond Green started his own NFL podcast, and he decided to take aim at Dallas Cowboy quarterback Dak Prescott. And as he's talking about him, he starts calling the guy a bum. Like, Dak Prescott is a bum. I'm like, what? Well, apparently Rob Parker heard these comments from Draymond, and Rob Parker just started to go in on him, bro. Like, he went off on him. And not only did he go off on him, he called out the hypocrisy of some of these podcasts. So we actually want to play the first part of what Draymond said, because you're going to hear it. And then you're also going to hear Rob Parker's reaction. Take a listen to this sound here.
And he has some choice words for the Cowboys quarterback. Take a listen.
Dak's a bum. Oh,
Dak's not a bum.
Jalen.
He's an MVP candidate.
Yeah, that's fine. He getting some numbers and they stink. Dak's a bum.
He's not a bum, dog. He's a really good quarterback.
No, he's a bum. They'll never win with that.
You're too smart and you know too much about football to say Dak Prescott's a bum.
I won 4 championships, Jordan. So you got to understand, when I say bum, I'm not saying Dak Prescott isn't a good NFL quarterback. Of course he's a good NFL quarterback. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, when the money's on the line, when it's for all the marbles, who are you? He a bum.
I totally disagree.
Yeah,
I totally
what
disagree.
has he done in those moments? Been a bum.
He's been a
bum in the moments, Jordan. When they had their best team, best offensive line in the league, they had all that to get to the playoffs, and he a bum.
But the story isn't fully written yet.
It's pretty written, because now he's making $65 million, and it's way harder to win. Like, you got to be so, like, Patty Mahomes good to be, like, that highly paid and still go win. Like, that's a very hard thing to do. Like, it's over.
These are the podcasts you're listening to. I'm dead serious. And this is a public service announcement to all sports fans out there.
Tap the mic, make sure it's on.
Is it on?
Let me see. Okay, we got you.
Turn these podcasts off. And Draymond with this new media crap my ass. He's a total hypocrite. Because if it was a journalist or somebody saying that about Dak, it would be the end of the world to call him a bum.
That's a fair point.
If you want to make the point, Kelvin, and break down that beating good teams or on the road and give me some numbers and facts, to get up there and say that Dak Prescott is a bum, it was like Shady McCoy on FS1, who called him ass on the air. Dude, really? And you guys are professional athletes who know what it takes to make it to that level and to perform, right? There's no reason. Stop listening to these guys. Draymond Green, new media. No, Draymond Green, untrained, unsophisticated, under-researched. It ain't about just your feelings on somebody. And then to use the money thing. Really? Really? Right. If that was somebody else saying Draymond Green don't deserve that, right, it would be like, oh, wow, a talented black man can't earn money playing basketball. That's what he would say. And instead, here he is. I'm not a Dak Prescott fan, and I'm talking about like thinking that he's going to win you all these Super Bowls, but I'm going to give you reasons why. Facts, numbers, figures. This is just off-the-cuff BS. Embarrassing. New media. He's the one criticizing the people, the debate shows and all this. They got an opinion. They didn't play and all this stuff. And they have the audacity to disrespect Dak Prescott and say he's a bum, and then, you know what I hate, use the flimsy qualifiers. First he calls him a bum, Kelvin, then he goes, well, you know, I ain't saying he can't play. Well, what is a bum?
You can't, yeah.
What is a bum? You can't say, oh, I didn't say he's not a good NFL quarterback. Well, what's a bum? A bum means the worst of the worst. Come on, man. Dude, turn off these podcasts. If people aren't going to talk to you, a sports fan, and give you some real analysis, tell me why it's not enough just to have an opinion. Based on what? Why don't you like something? Why don't you like this player? Give me examples. Based on what? If you can't answer that question, you don't have an opinion. Not a valid one. I'm so tired. New media. Ain't no new media. It's guys pretending like there's something different or like they have some inside story. Draymond didn't give me anything for me to believe that he knows anything about the National Football League.
So you heard what Rob had to say. You heard what Draymond had to say. Now, I'm not a football guy. I watched football quite a bit growing up, but I'm not a football guy. But I do know that Dak Prescott is a good, very good quarterback. I know he's not a championship guy and all of that stuff, but he's good enough to be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, right? He's a very good, and I think he has a huge contract. So no one would accuse Dak Prescott of being a bum, right? He's a hell of a player. And you can't even put him and Draymond in the same breath when we're talking about players playing a particular position at their sport. You can't even do that. We all know this. But nevertheless, Draymond went out to call Dak Prescott a bum. How can you call Dak Prescott a bum while averaging year in and year out a triple single every single year? And I didn't come up with the term, Charles Barkley did. Draymond Green hasn't averaged over 10 points since 2018. Since 2018. For his career, he averages 11 points per game, 1 block, 6 assists, 8.6 rebounds, 72% free throw shooting, 30% from the three, 45% from the field. But you're calling this guy a bum? Now, Draymond says what gives him the mandate to be able to call him a bum is because he's a champion. But here's the part that kills me with all of this. Draymond is acting like as if he didn't play with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant. If you put Draymond Green on another team and ask him to be the star, would you win any championships? If you ask him to be the best player? No. So why are you calling this guy a bum? Just because he didn't win a championship ring. They're champions, they're players that didn't win rings that are better than you. This is a fact. There's a whole bunch of guys that never won rings. That's way better than Draymond. Like, what are we talking about here? There are people that are way better defenders that played in basketball. What are we talking about, bro? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? I got to say something. And it really is surprising to me. Ain't y'all surprised nobody ever smacked Draymond in his mouth before in an NBA game? Do you know the person that asked the same question? Kenny Martin. Kenny Martin like, yo, y'all just gonna let this dude do this to y'all? Draymond be talking so greasy. And I wonder, as a basketball league, like, y'all just gonna be letting this dude. I saw the game he was talking to Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, damn, son. Damn, like, damn. I'm not saying you got to be a thug or nothing like that, but y'all just be letting this dude get away with everything. Like, it's amazing to me. Like, good. Have these guys ever been in a fight in their life? And I'm not a gangster or anything, but my God. These dudes look like they never threw hands ever in their lives before. Like, they just be letting this dude say whatever and anything about him to them. Draymond talks a lot of trash. The way Draymond talks, you would think he's like a top 75 guy or something like that. Like, bro, what are we talking? You calling Dak Prescott a bum? If he's a bum, then what are you? I remember when Jalen Rose got upset with Stephen A. Smith for calling Kwame Brown a scrub. Don't use that word. But then you dudes letting Draymond get away with calling Dak Prescott he's a bum? Really? He's a bum. Unbelievable, bro. Draymond be talking like as if he the finals MVP. He be talking like he Kobe or Michael Jordan or somebody. I got championship rings. So does Derek Fisher, bro. Like, what are we talking? So does Robert Horry. You're talking like as if you're Tim Duncan. Or you're like Hakeem Olajuwon. Or Magic Johnson. What are we talking about? Like, what are we even discussing right now? Bro, these NBA dudes, man, I don't know. I'm not calling anybody soft, but damn, son. Damn. Nobody is ever like, nobody is after. I'm like, damn, none of y'all, nobody got tired and be like, yo, but Draymond be picking and choosing who you gonna do that to. I didn't seen him, Marcus Morris Sr. throw him to the ground. Draymond stood up and walked away. All of that, but he didn't do nothing, bro. All of this karate chops and shurikens, he be picking and choosing who he wants to punch. I saw Marcus Morris throw him to the ground. Draymond stood up and did nothing. Just walked off like nothing happened. Because he knows who he's going to do that to. But my thing is, nobody is seeing this and being like, yo, annoyed. Like, yo, somebody just don't want to snuff this dude. Like, nobody. None of y'all. The only people I've seen it, like, bro, maybe Isaiah Stewart and a few up. It's just weird. Like, nobody. I don't know, man. I don't know where these dudes come from, bro. I'm not a gangster, not at all, not even close to it. But damn, after a while, if we on the court and we playing, and son keeps running his mouth, after a while, you're gonna get annoyed. Like, you're gonna get annoyed and say something or smack the dude or something. Even if you fight, so what? But you're gonna get annoyed. These guys are doing nothing. They just watch it. Like, it's unheard. I don't know, man. I don't know where these NBA. I don't know where these dudes come from. Like, I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, shout out to Rob Parker, man. So, do you agree with Draymond calling this guy a bum? And is Draymond Green the one to call somebody a bum? Like, it's just put Draymond on a team without Stephen Curry or Klay Thompson or Jimmy Butler or Kevin Durant, and is he going to be on a level of any of those guys that I just mentioned? Or would he be on the level of a Dak Prescott in his own sport? So how do you get to call that guy a bum? Come on, man. I'm out.